All right, for the second time in 3 weeks, Blake comes in with a late night Wednesday secret bet that no one else can bet, and wins again. There you go, Blake. Congratulations.
Hideki, baby. My white whale. Finally got him. You guys were on him at the Genesis. I wasn't there fully. I got in on him live, but not a full bet. First time in my life I hit a Hideki bet. One of my favorite guys on tour, definitely now with everybody that's gone. But this guy, he really made me work for it yesterday. Holy shit.
Yeah, that was crazy. It's a great shirt. And yesterday it felt like it was going to blow it. You and I kind of went back and forth a little bit. You were getting pissed at me for saying that I thought he was still going to win, and he did. I mean, just did some crazy shit down the stretch, making bogeys and doubles, and then he birdied 17, 18 to win. You really thought he was losing for a stretch there.
Oh, yeah. I let all my anger out on you, too, via text.
We did.
I was so pissed. This guy was 5 up after fucking 11 holes, I think. And then the rules official came over and kind of got him out of his rhythm, and he missed the 4-footer. And then he goes in the water on 14 and then made that horrific double. He lost the lead. Yeah, Vic had the lead for about 5 seconds, and then Vic fucking blasted driver on 17 into the rough, got into the bunker, couldn't get up and down, and then we were tied. And then Decky, being the psychopath he is, drills a fucking 26-footer for bird on 17, and then 18 went dead aim. That tee shot on 18 too. Oh, I was so nervous on that tee shot, as everybody was flaring that thing into that bunker to avoid the water.
So being someone who I didn't have him, I could kind of look at it objectively and not. And I think a lot of people probably thought he was blowing it, but for some reason, I just thought he was going to pull it out. I just thought it would be a Decky move to do exactly what he did.
After 14, when he made the double, when he flubbed that chip. Yeah?
Yeah. I told you, right
Not
when
14,
that happened.
It was 15 when he had the double.
Right when that happened, I deposited like $100 because it was a bonus on DraftKings.
But what about when he didn't get the par 5?
I thought he was winning because I didn't think. I still thought at the very worst he was going to come in a playoff.
So he was 15, and at the time, Hovland had just birdied 16.
Yep.
To get to minus 16. So Hovland had a 1-shot lead. You still thought he was going to win?
Yeah.
And then he didn't birdie the par 5. You still thought he was going to win?
Yeah, because when Hovland had a 1-shot lead, and I think it was before Decky hit his putt on 16. Hovland took that bad drop off the car path.
Yeah. What a terrible drop that was. What a fucking retard.
So I knew he was going to have a really hard time making a par there. So I'm going to read these texts, all right?
All right, let's hear it.
You said, this guy misses another shorty, I'm going to kill someone. I said, he won't.
Made the next shorty. I remember that
one. Then you called me a name that I can't say on the thing. Then I said, he'll be fine. You said, guy's melting. Decky is blowing this. I said, no, he's good. Then you said, white whale for me here. I said, I know. You said, I don't know why you don't think he's blowing this. I said, just a little rough patch, still par 5 to go. About to be tied. I said, no, it isn't. You said, fuck you. And then that's when he made the bogey. Or the double.
The double.
And I said, Jesus. You said, gonna be losing. This thing's over. I said, still got the par 5. You said, this is your fault. I know you're rooting against it. I said, I can't impact what's happening. No, I'm not. And you said, you're a cunt. Big fact.
I had to get all my anger out, man. It was such a stressful day.
And then I said, I still believe he's winning. This is when he was down 1. You said he's not even winning anymore. You and Devon can have fun on the pod. If Decky loses, I'm out.
I wasn't coming. If Hideki didn't win that after being 5 up after 11, I was out today. There was no way.
I said, it's still right there for him. You said, fuck off, Matt. Don't be a fucking cunt bag. I said, I'm not. Only saying what I believe. And then he wins. So yeah,
Well, I mean, I kind of. Were you rooting for X?
no, I was. I really was rooting for Decky.
Don't lie.
I was.
Everybody, Decky was the most popular bet this week. You definitely rooting for X. He's come back.
On Friday, Matt wanted fucking Scotty to win and the world to burn. He said, "Fuck this tournament."
I did. But after he was in position and you had him, I wasn't going to root against it. I mean, I wasn't like emphatically rooting for it. I was just watching it casually. But yeah, I mean, if X won, I think it would have been better for overall outlook of this week and everything, odds, all that shit.
Yeah, I thought Hideki was dead, man. That was a really, really rough stretch. Like that was a complete meltdown. Like it was kind of like Rom.
Yeah,
Olympics.
It was.
And great, kinda.
But Decky just can't apply the rules to normal life to Decky.
I know. It's fucking. And you know what? You did text me this. You said, I think Decky buries it on 7.
Yep.
And I actually agreed with you at the time. I don't know why, but I was watching the TV and I was like, this guy's fucking drilling this putt right now.
Yeah. 17, when he hit the approach, I go, Decky's going to bury this. I knew he was going to bury it.
Yeah. Such a fucking. He's so weird, man. You can't apply logic to fucking Decky.
Yeah, but I've learned him over the years. Now I can apply my own Decky logic.
You got Decky logic. I love it.
So that's Decky logic.
How much of the logic is him just plain pissed off after his team had all been mugged in the airport? They were trying to get
so
you.
that's all right. So let's get back to that Wednesday bet. That's when I bet him. So I kind of applied the little logic there. Like, this doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to bet
Decky logic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet him because of the whole caddy thing. And
Like
we got mugged or whatever. And I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to bet Decky here. I got no one else I like. I'm not going into this fucking tournament with a single bullet. Adam Scott. Absolute psycho move. So I bet him and Sung and JT at 50.
2 Asians, and you got rewarded.
I know.
Everything, yeah, that's fucked up. Maybe the Decky logic cancels out the double Asian.
Yeah, it's got to be.
So, actually, when we talked about this, I texted you because I got sent when I write my daily like news articles. I get sent different topics I need to write about. So one of them was the caddy story. So I hadn't seen it yet. So I had to write about it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm talking about Decky." So then I texted you because I know you liked him or were thinking about him. Or it might have been right after you bet him actually, and I said, "No caddy for Decky this week," and you're like, "Yeah, it makes you like him more." And at that point, I remember in my head agreeing with that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but I mean, it was too late for me anyway. But it is a Decky thing.
Definite Decky thing.
Do you think I can't believe that he did this with his non-caddy.
Did you hear his the caddy for the week? He's like, yeah, I didn't even do anything. It was all Decky this week.
I could see it in the guy's eyes when Decky was fucking melting. That guy looked like he was fucking scared as shit.
Yeah.
He didn't know what to do.
Yeah, I don't. What do you say? That's like part of his like idol.
Yeah, it's not even his guy.
Did you see the interview that I think he's Rio's caddy.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. His interview.
And Rio texted him and said, "Hey, learn from Hideki."
Yeah, I mean, it's Hideki's a fucking icon, dude.
Japanese icon, Asian icon. It's like way different. Like he's like Michael Jordan.
That's why I didn't think he was gonna melt. Like I know he like. There's a difference between playing poorly and choking. I didn't think he was like mentally choking. I just thought he got himself in some tough spots and made some mistakes.
Yeah, he made some big mistakes though.
Like he wasn't scared.
No, I didn't think he was scared. I just think he wasn't hitting the shots. His around the green failed him.
It did. But that was a tough shot. He was trying to hit a perfect one, and
he was.
And he had to land it. If he did, and the water was behind it.
But what was that chip on 16? That was a shit chip.
Yeah, but you know what they said? How it bounced from the Zoysia into the Bermuda.
Yeah.
So he couldn't take it high because it wouldn't check anymore. So he had to bank it off the hill.
Right.
So he got a little bad break. I mean, he obviously was playing poorly at times, but he figured it out. That
would have been all time if X beat him. He was 9 strokes back to start the day.
Yeah. I know. It would have been
At a
fucked
course
up.
he's not that good at.
Right.
So now looking at it, like, but the course history did show through a bit. Like Decky lost that playoff, and he was there with Burns, who also lost in that playoff.
Yep.
And Billy played good again. A bunch of guys who are typically good at that course. So even Willie Z showed up to an extent.
Yeah, Willie Z was in the third to last group. He had no chance to win at all at any point, but
No,
he was there.
he was.
And I think it's worth noting, Team No Putt wins here every year.
They do. JT, Hideki, Zal,
Glover.
Yeah.
But Hideki's that perfect spike putter guy, man. Like
he does like it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter like what he does at any other point. He could just come and gain 6 strokes putting, which he did.
Right.
The irons are good. Hey, also that was a Strixon double. I like the Strixon stuff, man.
Oh, Brooks.
Yeah.
I saw Strixon actually congratulated Brooks on his win.
They did. They said number 5 for him.
Yeah.
Him and Decky both. I mean, I know there's a complete different thing, but if I get irons again, Strixon is definitely something I want to look at. I heard some great things about him. Devon, what do you think about that?
The ZX7s are awesome.
Yeah, they look fucking fire.
I've hit them. I've hit them on Sims. But that's about it. But I do have some friends that they went from TaylorMade and Titleist to Strixon, and they like it. I know, actually, one of my friends, he'll listen to this and he'll hear this actually. So his brother, I told you about his role at Sedgefield. So those guys, they have some ambassador deal with where they just get a ton of Z stars, and they have all 3 different kinds of Z star balls, and they live and die by them. And I found that really interesting because these guys are basically Titleist through and through for a decade. So they've gone full all the way over.
So if I win today, I'm going to go to a Strixon fitting, win this week, and get some new Strixon irons because I want them. Then I'm going to use them like 3 times next year, and that'll be the end of it. So, but something about them I like. I like the Decky. I like the Brooks. I think it works. I got to address something too. Obviously, I can't go unscathed here. Absolutely horrific showing for me this week. Probably the worst bet I've ever made in my life was Rory this week. It was a horrible, horrible, horrible bet. I was completely wrong. Even though I haven't won as much this year as years past, I do think we have done a good job of getting in the mix many times. There's been very few times this year where I had nothing to fucking watch on Sunday. And this was one of those weeks. Worst week of the year for me. It was a horrible pick.
I know I've had 9 runner-ups this year, so you were on most of those. So yeah.
It was a one-off horrible week. It's not going to happen again. Rory, I mean, it's not like we've bet him a lot. I bet him 3 times this year. API finished 21st, wasn't great. This one was horrible. And then the U.S. Open, where he finished 2nd. But typically, I've had a pretty good Rory radar. I thought he was going to show up, but he didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't blame you for the bet just because of the FedEx stuff. I know he's had a couple good finishes. I just don't love the course there for Rory. Never really have. So I couldn't get there. And what are you going to do? But also, like, the tap it in card, we're not always going to be the same. Like, so we put Rory and Scott on the tap it in card. But Devon bets different guys. I bet different guys this week, or sometimes it's my guys on the card. It's a show Twitter pick thing. Like, we're going to be different sometimes. And I know some guys are going to get at me for being secretive about my Wednesday night bets, but I'm letting it marinate lately. That's the strategy I've been taking, letting shit marinate. I'm not betting these things fucking Monday morning, seeing where the odds go. And I don't know, it's hit me 2 winners here.
Yep. And I think that's fine to have that as strategy. So I guess from now on, and the best way to do this is if you do that, you just tweet it from your personal.
Yeah.
And if people don't follow you, that's their problem. And then you know what I mean? They will.
Yeah.
And I'll do that.
If you have anything you like, I mean, we do a recap at the end of every show for you guys right at the very end.
Yeah, but at the time, I wasn't betting anything at the time. I didn't know where to go at the time.
Yeah, that's why you just tweet it from your personal. Tap will retweet it. I like doing that better too because a lot of times when there's guys on the card who I'm not on, I get a million fucking texts saying, when did we bet this guy? When did we bet this guy? Because I didn't bet that person. So it's just a shit show. So that's why that way works for that too.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Matt. This week sucked on my end too. I had one guy show up and it was fucking Bob Mack, which I guess nobody else had Bob, so I guess I have an eye for him.
But he, again, didn't really have a chance to win.
None. I think he shot 71 Saturday. Just
that put him out.
Can't do that here. Yeah.
It's funny though. The winning score always finds its level.
Right.
It always goes back to what it's supposed to be.
Minus 17. That's what Decky was going into Sunday.
But congrats to Decky. He's a guy who, if I'm not on it, and just as a fan, he's a guy who will always want to win.
I mean, who do you like more on the PGA Tour than Hideki?
Like probably nobody.
Tommy? Victor?
I was just the Nords.
Yeah, Vic and Tommy. I mean, my favorite golfers right now, I would be, and these are always my favorite golfers. And this is another reason why the live shit. These are my favorite golfers. Rahm. I've been a Rahm guy since 2017.
You have.
Biggest Rahm guy ever. And then Rahm, Vic, Neiman have been my guys forever. And two of them went to live. They're the two best players on live, two of the three or four. So, is what it is. I also want to address a little tweet that I made. We'll talk about the other stuff after, about the Rahm stuff. Because I want to make my position on this clear. I said when Rahm plays like shit, it's because he hates being on live. When he plays great, it's also because he hates being on live. And I don't know if he likes being on live. I think he probably kind of does, kind of doesn't. That's my honest opinion. But the logic when he was playing bad, everyone says, yeah, he's playing like shit because he doesn't want to be there. He wants to be back on the PGA Tour. If that's your logic, then you have to see that through when he starts playing well, right?
Yeah.
So it's not the conclusion that I had an issue with. It's the logic that it took to get there.
You think he regrets it?
I think it's in the middle somewhere. My honest opinion on Rahm here is I do believe a big part of his unhappiness at the beginning was because he thought he was that big name that was going to go, and that would be the linchpin to forming a deal, and it would bring the two sides together. He would be the hero. He would save the day by going, and then everyone comes together because they say we can't lose Rahm. And it didn't happen. And I think that was frustrating. And then people started disliking him, went to Augusta. People were treating him differently, and that wore on him mentally. Then he had the injury. So do I think he wants to give the $600 million back? No, I don't. But
I think he's fine now.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. He definitely didn't play out like he thought it was going to play out. But I think he's fine now.
He's
fine. I don't think he'd return the money one bit, but I definitely see there's some truth to that.
But I do think he definitely misses the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
And he knows that this format and where Liv currently stands, to no fault of its own, has no historical context for what he accomplishes. And I think that does bother him.
Yeah, for sure. Did you watch any of that playoff?
I watched it. I didn't watch the playoff. I watched it up until the whole thing, up until it got tight when Hideki, and I switched it over to that. So I didn't watch the end of the Live.
Yeah, I was all PGA yesterday. Like I said, like I'm a bigger Live guy than most, but guess what? I had a guy winning on the PGA, and he was melting. So my eyes are gonna be there. We had Munoz on Live. Thought that was a good ad. He had a good first day, and then he just couldn't go scorching low like the other guys did. You got to go low 3 days there to win at Greenbrier.
And I also have an issue with the Greenbrier. It's just such an easy that's what's weird about Live, because now you have all the best players. It's like if all the fucking players on the PGA Tour were forced to play the Greenbrier.
Yeah.
So now
the Greenbrier was a swing event. It was a swing event. Same with Mayakoba.
Yeah, and that course is meant for a swing event. Like,
exactly.
We shouldn't be having the best players on Live duel it out at Live Green. That's just stupid. Like, people are saying this is one of the best events. No, it wasn't. There's no history behind the event. It's a birdie fest course. It's a nice course, but it's a birdie fest. If this was at Valderrama or something, I would agree. But there's just no historical meaning behind a Brooks-Rahm duel at Greenbrier.
Are they going to Greenbrier next year?
I think so.
Yeah.
But people are saying there's some great event. I mean, I don't see it that way.
Well, probably because the two best players were in a playoff duel, I guess. But I didn't watch it, so I watched a little bit, but not down the stretch.
It's just a weird dynamic there. Like, hard to predict too. You have Brooks winning at a birdie fest at a swing event. Like, fuck that.
Yeah, just don't see that coming. But this just proves that the best guys can win in whatever format.
Well, Liv got criticism from me included at the beginning of their tenure because all these randos were winning and the good players weren't winning. Now the good players win every time.
Every time the good players win. I went through the list. Like the only non-good player that won was Steele.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm going to count Answer as a decent player. He's probably the second worst player to win an event this year. All rest of them are all studs.
Dean is probably better than Abe. So yeah.
At this point, major wise, Dean's performed. Abe hasn't.
Yeah.
So interesting. And then you get the whole Koepka narrative where he only shows up in majors, but now he's won 5 live events.
Does he have more live titles than PGA titles?
Yeah.
Does he?
Either that or same amount. He doesn't have more than 5 on the PGA Tour. I know that.
Wow. It's pretty wild. So you can't really say Brooks doesn't win these non-major events anymore.
Or maybe everyone's right. These live events are bigger.
Could be. He wants that cash.
He does like cash, I think. So anything else from last week?
I guess the big story was Rory. Spieth, he's getting surgery. Spieth's getting surgery. About fucking time.
Thank God. I mean, he should have got surgery back in January and then been right for the second half of the year. He made a mistake not doing it. And like he even said, he can't compress the ball off the fairway. And that's why his approach numbers are horrible and he's hitting it great off the tee. So I'd like for him to come back to some extent.
Yeah, it's always good. Gets people excited. What else do we have from that?
Tom Kim slamming the green, then playing his last 3 at 5 over.
Oh yeah, it's a miss.
First. Yeah, it's the golf gods, asshole.
So he's not in the signature events next year.
No, but Max Grieserman is.
That's
He'll
pretty
get
wild.
world ranking.
Right, but he's not guaranteed a spot. Obviously, he'll get in, but like,
no, he's not. What
a choke job! He went bogey on the par 5, double to finish. Finished 51st.
What a bad year for him too.
Yeah, good. He should have won the Travelers.
What do you think about him slamming the green?
Yeah, that was a dickhead move. Big dickhead.
Did he fix it?
Caddy did.
Caddy fixed it. Wow. I mean, double standards again. Imagine if Sergio did that.
No, I know. He'd be ridiculed.
Like I said, even Link would write fucking 20,000 words about it, how much of a piece of shit he is.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Tom is getting backlash, but.
Yeah. The other thing, Nick Dunlap. I kind of like him.
Yeah, he's good.
I don't like his face, obviously, but like, he's a stud.
It's a punchable face. He is, but you know, we've talked in the past. You know, Devon, you mentioned too. There are very few people who have his resume.
Yeah, he's won twice this year.
But not that, like his amateur resume combined with what he's doing right now. It's like
it's Phil. Like his resume is what Phil's was.
That's
Phil Tiger Spieth.
Dude, I don't even think he's that fucking good, but like at some point I just have to eat my own words.
I think he's good.
I mean, he is good, but
Matt and I were talking a few months ago, and I asked him, what would you set the line that he wins a green jacket in his career? Just because guys with that resume, they end up with a green jacket. And I said 50-1. Would you take that right now if you were
I'd take that. His career?
Yeah. Does he win one?
Yeah, I'd take it. Hits it too far.
I think I said no at the time, but I mean, I think saying yes like he did was probably right. So there's only 2 golfers ever to win both the U.S. Junior Amateur and the U.S. Amateur. Do you know who they were?
Tiger and Dunlap.
Tiger and Dunlap.
It's pretty wild.
So his pedigree coming in is pretty. So I think we should start treating him.
And then he's only amateur to win a PGA event since Phil.
Yeah, and his U.S. amateur was at Cherry Hills in Colorado.
Yeah, a little foreshadowing there for you.
I know he's like best friends with fucking Clanton. Like those guys play together a lot, but I don't know if that's just something about Dunlap, man. I just feel like he makes so many fucking bogeys. I don't know if
He
that's
does,
you.
but he's young. He's young.
Young gum full of gum.
I just something about him to me just screams water guy, wedge guy. Like you put him out there on a U.S. Open at 7, like put him at Winged Foot, and I don't think of him. I could be crazy.
I agree with that. I mean, now who knows what he's going to mature into, but right now we got to take him seriously.
They were saying on the broadcast he got a guy to help him around the green with his chipping, and the coach said like he picked it up faster than anybody he's ever seen.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I didn't love his game like coming in as much as we love these other games of like Oberg and Vic and those players. But again, pairing up what he's doing to what he did as an amateur and as a kid, like we got to take him pretty seriously going forward.
Yeah, I just wish he had a fucking different face because it's fucking bad.
Yeah, it's not great.
I'm going. If I text Matt this morning, if he ends up being the man, I'm going to feel about him how you guys feel about Scott Scheffler. Like that will be mine. I will not. If he ends up better than Clanton, I'm gonna blow my brain out.
I think he's got a good chance at that, but if he turns into a Scotty Scheffler, I mean, I won't like him either. So.
Yeah.
No, I don't think. Yeah. But even if he's like the 5th best player in the world, like
I think he will be the 5th best player at one point. Give him like 3-4 years. I think he'll be the 5th best player on the PGA.
But you know what? We'll like him better than Blake. You and I like Scott because here's the thing. This is how I want a dominant player to come into golf, doing what he's doing. And that's what gets people interested, what Spieth did and Rory did. The reason with Scheffler, he was a late bloomer. You know, and
Xander too.
And Xander too. So I like these young prodigies. So it's good to see. Good to see young players playing great. Oh yeah, last thing. I just want to talk quickly about the U.S. Am Ballister who won.
I love him. The Fireballs, right?
He's a stud.
Is he going to go to live?
That's a good question. I mean, I think it would have to be the Fireballs. Sergio put out a video congratulating him. I'm sure this guy would love to go play the Fireballs with Sergio. He's wearing the whole Fireballs kit. I know it's the colors of Spain, but he has to know that's the fucking Fireball outfit this guy is wearing.
And Arizona. He was wearing his Arizona State stuff.
Yeah, ASU stuff too. But I mean,
I could see him on Rahm's team because Vincent's going to get the boot.
Yeah, but he needs to be a Fireball. I mean, Puig was an ASU guy.
Answers from fucking McAllen, Texas. Like answers from put him with Torque.
He's a Mexican, yeah. But then should they kill Mito? Oh, what if
get Mito the fuck out of here.
What if Mito gets relegated? Put Answer on Torque and then put Ballister on Fireballs.
I don't think Mito's getting relegated.
But does Sergio want to play with 3 20-year-olds?
Who's on Fireballs right now?
Chikara and Answer.
Yeah, just Uncle Sergio, man. That's what he is.
I feel like he
loves it. He does it. He loves it.
Yeah, he would love it.
Well, I would add, Matt, I think Ballister, I would probably take him over Puig. Like, think about Puig as a birdie guy. Ballister, I mean, that setup was hard this week, man.
Yeah, I agree. He wasn't, Puig wasn't a huge prospect coming out. He was a 7th ranked amateur when he came out, when he went pro. Right now, Ballister's 10th, so he's, I guess, similar. Chikara was the best prospect of the 3.
He's hit or miss. Yeah, Vincent's getting dropped. Yeah, they should send Answer over to fucking Legion 13 and bring this guy in.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
He hits it a fucking mile. He's built like a running back.
I like his games. 2021.
Did he beat Clanton?
No, that was Jackson Buchanan, kid from Illinois. Yeah. He was great. He beat Summerhays and Clanton in back-to-back days.
And then you got TK played well. They're waiting for him to take over the fucking Ironheads.
Yeah, well, they need
It's
it.
gonna be a little while, but he's gonna when he's ready.
Yeah, he ran into a 36-year-old.
It's bullshit.
I don't like that.
So, is TK going to be why Tom Kim has to go to the military?
I hope so.
No, TK. I thought he was from different. He's not from
No,
South
TK's
Korea. Is
he's not Korean. No, TK is Thai.
I thought
Thailand.
so the Asian games are only Korea?
No, it's all of Asia. But
Oh, you're saying if he beats Tom in the Asian games, Tom
Yeah.
won't go.
So like he's going to
Oh.
be Tom's competition in the Asian games.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes.
So because like who else would it be? Because
Kiradek?
Well, Sungjae. All the Asian players. If Hideki wanted to play, he won't. He won't. But yeah.
Nakajima.
I don't know, whoever is Asian, I guess he's allowed to play in the Asian games.
Tom has a little more competition than Sung had.
He's got plenty of time. Tom's still 22.
Yeah.
Which is wild to think about.
All right, we ready to move on to BMW?
Yeah. Yep.
This is the time of the year where things kind of suck. 50-man field, not something we like. Last real event of the year. Although, like we mentioned, there really is no break at all. Was that us, or it might have been when I was on the other show? There's 1 week off after the Tour Championship, and then we get the Fortnite.
Really?
And then the whole fall season starts.
When's the President's Cup?
There's 1 week before the President's Cup off, 1 week after. It's in, I think, early October.
Okay.
So there really is no break.
Fortnite anymore. It's the Pro Core.
The Pro Core, yeah. All right, so we're at Castle Rock, Colorado. This is the first time the BMW has played there. Last 8 years or so, BMW's been at a different course every year, with the exception of last year, where they played at Olympia Field. They played 2023 and 2020 there, but the course has been rotating. So this course, Castle Pines Golf Club, has hosted a tournament on the PGA Tour from 86 to 2006, so a 20-year span there. It's called the International Tournament. It was Stableford scoring. So it's a par 72, 8,054 yards, but it's going to play much shorter than that due to elevation. It's about 6,300 feet elevation. So it's, way up there.
Bent grass 10% take off. So it's really like a 7,300.
Okay, 7,300. So bent grass greens, Jack Nicklaus design. They redid it just the same way they redid Murfield Village. So, but with that being said, I kind of highlighted some comments in my preview this week about the course superintendent and the course general manager talking about it. It does seem like they believe it's going to play easy because the 4 par 5s, they could have made into long par 4s, but they wanted to keep it true to its original intent. So I think there's going to be a lot of birdies on those holes.
Yeah, and that's what the BMW, besides that one windy year at Olympia, when round one, it's basically been 20, right?
Shootouts, yeah. So looking at approach, ball striking, bent grass putting, guys in high elevation. I factor that in there, even though it's a small sample size. I still just wanted to see it. Nicklaus designs and birdie or better is what I was looking at this week.
Who's the top 10?
Top 10, you got X, Scotty, Vic, Tommy, Finau, Oberg, Henley, Sungjae, Cantlay. I'm going to give you the top 15 because of the guys I want to mention. 10 is Lowry, 11 is Billy Horschel, 12 is Colin, 13 is Aaron Rye, 14 is Sepp Straka, 15 is Max Grazerman.
So X is the top guy, not Scotty.
Yep.
Vic's third, huh?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Probably Nicholas.
Yeah, Nicholas, and ball striking has been surprisingly pretty good. I think off the tee is carrying him there.
The last time the PGA was in Colorado was 2014 at Cherry Hills. That was won by Billy, minus 14. That's when he won the FedEx Cup that year. He was scorching hot. Top 5, you had Bubba, Morgan Hoffman, Ricky Fowler, Furyk, Sergio, Ryan Palmer. Adam Scott was 8th. Rory was 8th.
So we're looking for guys who drink their own piss. right?
The score there that week was -14 though. Wasn't as high.
That about Ricky kind of makes me excited for one of the guys. I bet.
So and then you also have. I mean, I just looked at some elevation courses outside of like I know the Shriners, but I don't really find the Shriners to be a comp here. But it's in elevation. But you had the Summit Cup or the CJ Cup at Summit. Rory won that. Colin was second. Ricky again was third. Keith Mitchell, Gooch, Burns. Then you have Shadow Creek. When Kokrak won, this one's filled with fucking live guys. I think like 7 of the top 11 were live, but you have Kokrak, X, Henley, Hatton, Gooch, Neiman, Lanto, Bubba, Munoz, English, Cam Smith. Vic
So
finished 12th.
Those courses, see, I put it really small in there, but so those 2 CJ Cup and Shadow Creek, and then also the what you said wasn't a fit, Shriners. But I did, so the elevation rankings, I'll give you those real quick, the top 10. Cantlay 1, Rory 2, Xander 3, JT, Sung Jae, Scheffler, Hadwin, Burns, Finau, Tagala.
That's just elevation?
Just elevation.
How many rounds does Rory have in that?
They all have 36 rounds.
I wonder if it takes when Rory won way back in the day. He won a bunch out west way back when he was like the best player.
It was 36 rounds, so it might have been. But Cantlay number 1 there.
Yep.
And then I'll give you the Nicholas rankings too, because I really think that is going to be a pretty big factor this week. We got Scotty, Cantlay, Colin, Lowry, Vic, X, Rory, Fitz, Henley, Finau.
Yeah, all the usual suspects. Did you guys watch the like 15-minute flyover of the course that Jim Nance narrated? That was pretty cool.
I didn't.
It's very, very beautiful course. It looks like it's going to be very appealing to the eye. Lots of creeks running through, some pretty scenic views. I think we're going to enjoy it outside of the Birdfest aspect, but just the actual course looks amazing.
I looked at it online 2 years ago, just a little bit. Just looking at Colorado golf courses out of curiosity while I was booking a golf trip up there. Spent a week up there. And Matt, will you remind me the elevation that we're playing at? I feel like
500.
Okay, so like 12% more so than a 10.
Okay.
Yep.
Which
fairways seem wide.
Rough looked thicker than I
Rough
expected,
was thick, though.
Just from pictures I saw. Which makes me think around the green, typical Nicklaus, just like kind of maybe negates it for the guys who don't have the softest hands in the world. Only 1 or 2 things you can do in thick rough.
There's a video of Wyndham Clark playing it with the good guys.
I watched a little bit of that, but I couldn't watch it. It was too horrible.
It's just so tough to watch that. But the rough did look thick.
So do you think?
What are we favoring? Bombers or no? Or more iron guys like typical Nicklaus?
I'm favoring guys that don't curve the ball.
Why?
Because I think, it just when you're no air pressure, I feel like the ball is just going to straighten out anyways. And that from personal experience, anyways, I feel like guys that maybe rely on just fucking aim down the left side and just drop your drive over to the right, I feel like it maybe just negates it a little bit. And guys
who are the curve guys?
Curve guys. I mean, I bet on a curve guy this week, but it's the only guy that's played the course a bunch, Wyndham Clark.
Yeah.
I feel like if there's anybody that can maybe negate that, Finau is another curve guy. But again, don't we think doesn't really matter for those two? Like they have the altitude routes that nobody else here does. This is
One thing they did say is, I know Wyndham's going to be a popular pick, but like he doesn't practice in altitude anymore. Like he hasn't done that shit in like 10 years. Like he lives in Scottsdale. So it's not like he's always up there practicing. It's not like some of the Vegas guys are always playing in altitude.
Billy
Colin
plays
and
a lot.
Who?
Billy.
Yeah, he's a member at a course, I think.
I saw that tweet earlier as well. I guess.
Do we want to look at the winners of this international tournament?
Just seems like the best players.
Dean Wilson. Sure. You know who that is?
Who?
Dean Wilson.
No idea.
He won the most recent one. Goosen. So Devon, for you, remember Chubby compared Goosen to Ludwig.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Rod Pampling.
He's not a good player.
What does he do though?
I don't know. Just know he stinks.
Davis Love won it twice. Rich Beam, Tom Pernice. It's not really just the good players. So I'd like to see what those guys have in common.
Go down when you get the early days. It was all good players.
Yeah, but there were still some weirds mixed in. I mean, you had Phil, VJ, David Toms, Ernie, Pernice, Beam.
Didn't Ernie win it a couple times? VJ a couple times? Phil
twice. VJ once. Ernie once.
Okay.
Jose Maria won it in 91.
Wow. They redesigned it though, didn't they?
Nicholas redesigned it. Yeah, since they played there. So who knows what there is to take from that? Maybe nothing.
Yep.
And we'll get into this guy more as we get down the board. But another guy with roots, like obviously he loves Nicholas and Palmer, and he also has success in this part of the world, is Zal. I don't know if he still has the same juice with the driver that he used to have, but definitely does know what to do in this part of the world.
Okay.
All right, odds start at the top.
Yeah, let's do it. So, best line, the usual suspect. Scotty is 3-1. Then you have Xander at 6-1.
You can stop there. If you give me a choice of who's going to win this tournament, same odds, I pick X. Right?
I agree.
So he has all the comps. Right, he was there at the CJ Cup and Summit Club, right?
He was second to Kokrak at Shadow Creek. The Summit, no. He was 18th. One at Valhalla, Nicholas, right?
Memorial.
Playing out of his mind.
Long Nicholas.
Yep.
So yeah, he's playing good. He's playing great. I mean, I feel like last week he didn't have his best stuff, and he still almost won.
Right. I don't know. You just can't get rid of him, and you can't get rid of Scheffler. I just like the fit better for X, and there's a lot of variables with this altitude that I just don't know if Scotty loves the variables. I think he likes go hit it here, go hit it there. Your club goes this club goes this length, you know?
Yep, I think that's right.
So that's just my opinion, but we were wrong last week. We were wrong last week with Rory and X. So
call me crazy here. You know who else is like that is Bryson. And they've had some kind of a little bit of crossover.
Bryson and Scotty or Bryson and X?
Bryson and Scotty.
Yeah.
Like when you throw a lot of variables in, they don't play as well.
What about
what about
the US Open though?
Yeah, US Open.
This past year.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
When Scotty got off the fairway, he didn't like the whatever they were hitting out, the sand or the little bushes there, or whatever you want to call them.
Waste area.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Scott, yeah, I agree with that assessment. Xander seems to be a better play than Scotty this week. Yeah, I don't really see a world where Xander's not involved, right?
No, there's no. Yeah, I don't.
I woke up expecting him.
You beat him. I don't know.
Yeah,
gonna have to beat him.
I woke up expecting him to be 7-1, and he was going to be the only bet I was going to make this week. Didn't get my way.
Yeah. I'm never going to bet X in the single digits ever at any golf event because I fucking hate X. He's a fucking midget, and I just will never do that. So
yeah, I would never do it either. But I do obviously get the appeal, and I do think maybe some X over Scotty head-to-heads could be profitable.
Right.
And these no cuts, man. You can't get rid of these fucking top guys.
No, can't.
No. And what you guys said about just him playing well and just falling into second yesterday and damn near winning the thing or having a chance. I just think
he almost chipped in on 18. Oh,
this is a course that he's never been good on. We knew that coming into it, but I think he's just not a wedge guy. The only weeks where you don't see Xander in the top 10 are where you're hitting it from 130 every week in approach. And even this week, it's going to be harder for these guys to hit it close in this no air pressure. So I just think it favors the long guys. Like, you are going to have to scramble just by default because your distances are going to be a little off.
He lives in Vegas too, practices in Vegas.
Yeah. Him and Colin both.
Yep. Is anyone outside of X and Scheffler going to win the FedEx, or is it just going to be one of those two?
Who likes Eastlake?
Rory. X loves Eastlake, though.
It'd be tough. I think it's going to be tough to beat X there, man.
Yeah. X, plays there amazingly. Like, him and Rory are like the Eastlake guys.
It's probably going to be one of the three. But these wins are so, if Cantlay wins this week, he probably moves up to third.
Could Hideki? Hideki's third right now, right?
Yeah.
I took Cantlay 50-1 to win the FedEx Cup last week. That's 2-week investment.
What is he now?
25.
Oh, is he 25?
Yeah.
Where is he in the FedEx?
He needs to fucking get top 2 this week for that to have any life.
Not bad. He's 9th. Okay. Next range, I guess, right? Is it on these two losers?
Yeah. So here we are in the teens. We have 5 guys. We have Rory at 12, Colin at 14, Decky, Vic, and Ludwig all at 18.
All right. They tempted me, Matt.
They are.
They tempted me. It's 12. I think all the same reasons apply this week in an even bigger case than that you made last week for Rory. And I think they more apply here. And last week he was 10-1 in a 70-man field, and now he's 12-1 in a 50-man field.
At probably a better fit.
At a way better fit. And he's won in elevation. Why aren't we going back?
I mean, for me, I was scoring pretty badly. I mean, I'm never afraid to go back to things, but this one would be tough for me. But I agree, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, the question for me is, you can just put nothing into that performance, no stock in it.
So what if he just missed the cut? He played okay Thursday, right? -2. Stats were fine. And then what if he just missed the cut?
Well, that would have been better. But I mean, I think what he did over the weekend was bad.
But can't you kind of put it as a player's performance? You just throw it out the window, course with a high variance with water.
I think mostly you can.
I mean, it was a pretty big blip compared to everything else. It wasn't it was his worst performance. He did everything poor. Lost 4 off the tee. Lost 8 putting. 13 strokes total. When's the last time he's done that? Nothing even comes remotely close to that. So shouldn't that just be like a one-off, and you shouldn't put any? You should put some, but you shouldn't weight it a lot.
I think it's probably an anomaly, and I think you can do that and still play well. The question is, can he do that and still win?
And still win. So his BMW results are good. Fourth, 8th, 4th, 12th, the last 4. In Cherry Hills in 2014, he was 8th. So he missed the cut at the 2022 St. Jude. Finished 8th at the BMW. Obviously not a win. He was 43rd. I'm just posting some bad FedEx performances and then what he did in the BMW. He was 43rd at the Northern Trust in 2021. He finished 4th at the BMW the next week. 65th at the Northern Trust up here at TPC Boston in 2020, and he finished 12th at the BMW.
So
I just think he's going to bounce back. I really do. I really think he's going to bounce back. And if this thing gets above 12, I mean, I might be the only guy on Rory Island this week.
Yeah, I get the logic. My only counter is none of those you read are first.
Exactly. Yep. That's what's holding me back right now. Because I told you over the weekend I'm betting Rory.
Yeah, a lot of them are good. None of them are great.
Yeah, a couple top 5s.
Yeah. But I mean, small field.
Right.
And Rory's the only guy I had any intention to bet, like 8-1, 9-1 for the FedEx Cup. And then I saw last week, and I'm like, okay, this is so fucked. I don't know what to do next week.
Yeah, but
is his head all right?
The leaderboards never correlate from St. Jude to the BMW. I was looking at it. There's very, very few correlations. Like, it's different.
They're very different.
Very different.
And like you mentioned earlier, and I kind of just did a little self-reflection on it with my card from last week, because it wasn't up to standard for what usually happens in Memphis. The course history is a little more sticky there, like you guys were mentioning with Decky, Burns. Like you're good there, and then you figure it out. And a lot of those guys really, besides fucking Dunlap. So yeah, I see what you mean.
My question is, and you had the same question for me last week when I said I was going to bet him. Is his head all right now? Missing short putts.
Yeah, I mean that was definitely.
We saw at the Olympics.
What was the Olympics though? That was his best iron week of the year?
Yeah, but the second he got within one of the lead, he went in the water.
Yeah. That's true. He stopped fucking Amanda. He's.
I wouldn't put it past him, and I get wanting to bet him. And I probably, if I wasn't there last week, I imagine I probably would have been with you. I guess.
I think you would have.
I probably would have. But
what if it gets to 4? Is it going to get to 14?
I mean, I don't see anybody betting.
Let me refresh it for you.
Guys,
12 is across the line.
This could be a Wednesday night bet, man. I might be leaving this card open again. Wednesday night, my bets are coming in.
It was 9-1 this morning. It's 12 now. You're gonna get a 14 somewhere if you have access to like every legal book.
It's fucking wild. He was fucking. What was he? 9. He closed at 10 last week. I'm buying the bounce back. There is an element to like, oh, I'm Rory McIlroy. I'm a zillion back. I'm playing at 7:50 on Sunday morning. I don't really give a fuck because it's not going to change where I am in the FedEx Cup. Like, what is he playing for on Sunday?
Well, he already admitted he checks out when he's not in the mix.
Exactly.
That's what I was going to say. There's no bigger quitter in golf than Rory, but he also thinks he's in tournaments longer than anybody.
Yeah.
Like it takes a big fucking deficit for that guy to stop giving up, but when he gives up, nobody gives up more. Like pick up.
So I'm thinking about it. I really am.
He definitely gave up last week. I mean,
yeah. I mean, what was he doing?
I didn't watch him Friday. What happened Friday? I thought he looked good Thursday, no?
Yeah, Friday he started off good. He had a bad drive on the par 5 there. Like ripped one left, like out of bounds, and then just spiraled from there.
Yeah. And then there's the next then you have Colin 14. I think that one's going to go up too. And I wouldn't be surprised if Colin bounced back. Obviously you have he's a Nicklaus guy, one concession, almost won Memorial this year, contended at Valhalla this year. He won the Barracuda, which is a Nicklaus course. He's like Mr. Nicklaus, right?
Yep, he is.
And off bounce backs, I have some of his wins. He won Workday off a miscut. when he won the PGA, he was 20th at St. Jude. This wasn't even he finished 22nd last week. His irons were pretty bad. He won concession after finishing 43rd at the Genesis. And then obviously the big one, he won the Open after that shit finish at the Scottish where he didn't know how to hit an iron. Missed cut at the Travelers in 2023, and then he lost in a playoff to Ricky at the Rocket the very next week. Like, he usually bounces back off these bad performances, if you want to call it 22nd a bad performance.
Yeah, I'm very scared about calling this week. I think he has a good chance. I think I think probably people are sick of betting him.
Definitely. But we haven't bet him that much, have we?
No.
The Olympics, Memorial, that's it.
I think that's why that's why he's
Memorial
going to
is
go
the right
overlooked.
bet.
Yeah, Memorial is the right bet. He's definitely, in my opinion, going to be involved too.
Like him winning a BMW wouldn't shock anybody.
No. Although he doesn't typically seem like a typical BMW guy.
Well, why not?
I'm thinking Birdie Fest,
Wasn't concession minus 20 something?
Yeah, maybe it was.
I always think long and straight with the BMW for some reason, just because the rough is always so thick and just the regions we play in for it. But I'm with you. This one doesn't typically feel like it. But going back to why Blake was a little more not like kind of feeling like, oh, nobody's on Colin last week, but then sat off and he made some points on the show about how he pops up on the longer courses. And that's when he celebrates, that's when he separates. And I think, 8,000 yards, there's only so much he can do in the altitude. Like, he's still going to, like, these guys are still going to be hitting some long irons this week. Just nature of the beast. So, yeah, I think blind bet Colin on a Nicklaus, you can't really go wrong.
Look at, he was second at the Summit Club to Rory. He was minus 24. And then what was he at when he gagged it to Rahm? Wasn't that in the 20s? I think he can get there.
Yeah, he probably can. He's second on the list of the guys I'm most worried about after X.
And Kapalua, he got to like fucking 28 and then just blew it.
Yeah.
It's different, but par 73.
All right. Then you got just the guys you mentioned. Vic is probably the most popular bet this week, I'd imagine, right? I'm not taking the bait. His his only two top tens this year were on Zoysia. Guy loves Zoysia. Followed him his whole career. He loves Zoysia. Mayakoba at Zoysia. The Puerto Rico event that he won, Zoysia. I'm just not taking the bait. I'm not buying Vic being all the way back yet.
I thought the 20 that it opened up was pretty good, and I thought about it, but I think mostly you're right. I think all his performance has been on Zoysia, and I think the ball striking has been good is the thing. I'm on the fence with him. I think he could be back. But
what do you do at the Olympics, ball striking wise? I know he started off really poor.
I do think very soon he's going to be back to, like, really back.
I agree. But we also said that after the PGA, and then
Olympics he was decent. Decent plus around 2 on approach, around 3 off the tee.
Yeah, but we also said this after the PGA, and then he sucked for 2 months until he got back on Zoysia.
Or Nicklaus. So he's good Nicklaus.
Very true.
Because after the PGA, he was still 15th at Memorial, and he still gained 7 strokes on approach.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little worried about him, but not completely. I agree. I definitely fear Colin more and X more, but
Hideki can't win back to back, or what do you think of his chances?
I don't think so. I don't think he's going to win back to back, especially after the way he played on the back nine.
No. Okay.
I don't know. Do you?
I wouldn't put it past them, but I'm not going to be there for it. Do
you think this, because of like the uniqueness of the entire situation of this course and everything, the elevation, because BMW has typically been dominated by the best players.
Mm-hmm.
Do You think it's a little more open this week?
I don't know. I can only see like 8 players winning, to be honest with you. Even though I would condone a bunch of bets. So yeah, I guess. But I still can't picture Nick Dunlap winning. But I think he's a great bet this week.
I personally do think it's a little open.
Do you?
I think it is. I mean, I think there's so many factors.
I mean, look at Cherry Hills. Billy won.
Yeah.
When have we got a rando win? Keegan won one.
Leishman won one.
Leishman won one in Chicago. Minus like 20 something. That Keegan one was it was like a rained out one. It was very wet that week. So yeah, maybe. I hope, since we're not hitting the top 2 big guns.
Well, I think a lot of variables and low scores are 2 things that invite random winners.
Yeah.
So, all right. Here's the guy we all bet.
I haven't yet, but I'm probably gonna.
Okay, what's the number now?
I see 20.
We're sitting at 20.
Okay. So Patrick Cantlay, Groudon, he was at 25 in FanDuel. I obviously can't get the full bet there, but I did get a big piece at 22, which I'm happy about. On DraftKings, Patrick Cantlay. I love Pat this week. To me, he was the bet. When the price opened, I was a little disappointed by a lot of numbers I saw. He was one of the few that seemed like a very fair number considering everything. It looked really, really fair. In the 20s, coming off a good performance. He's Mr. BMW. He's won 2 of the last 3 BMWs. Not that it has anything to do with this week, and I almost wish he didn't. But last week he hadn't played since the Open, and he played pretty well at the Open. But he then took almost a month off, and he started off with a 72 in the first round, 2 over, and then he went 67, 66, 66, and finished in 12th place. Pretty damn good. And Sunday he was really sharp. He was 6th on approach, 18th off the tee on Sunday, playing really well. He's a much better putter on bent grass. 7 of his 8 wins have been on bent. We've talked about that in the past. Elevation. He's the best player in the field his last 30 rounds, strokes gained total in high elevation. He's also second to Scotty in strokes gained and Nicklaus designs. So he's won at Murrayfield Village twice. I mean, everything about this course screams Patrick Cantlay to me. He's been consistent. 7 of his past 10 starts, he's been in the top 25, just has not won yet. FedEx Cup, he's 3rd in strokes gained total in FedEx Cup events. So I just think this is the week he puts it all together and wins an event. We know he can win in the playoffs. He's done it before. I think he's going to do it again.
So I didn't bite the bullet. You know why I didn't bite the bullet on Pat last week? It was because of that Justin Ray stat.
Yeah.
You know what? If we didn't ask Justin Ray that, I probably would have bet Pat instead of Hideki.
It's a credit to me.
Yeah. So thank you. But yeah, everything you said, spot on. Get him back on his surface too, bent. All his wins are on bent. And yeah, he got better each day last week. So there's really nothing much more to say. I just think.
Where does he live now?
Nicholas guy. He lives in California, I think, still. Well, he might live in Jupiter actually now.
Yeah.
I imagine he practices a lot with X, right? I mean, they fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm with you guys. I think he's the winner. I wanted to bet. Like I said last week on the show, it was a 2-week operation. I was taking 2 guys each the next 2 weeks, and if they don't contend at least once, I don't know shit. It's Ludwig and Cantlay, and I agree, Matt. That was the only fair number under 30-1 today.
It was,
and I love it. It all lines up. You guys said it for me, and I do think there's something to him at this time of year, and it's like that competitive rust. We had 3-4 weeks off. Of course, his first round sucked. He missed every green log that front 9 on Thursday. I was pissed, but I took him to win the took him to win the FedEx Cup. BMW results are out of this world. I think it's there. And like you said about bent grass, that's also why I'm on Ludd too. Those guys just both love the bent greens. It's where they do their best work.
The last thing about Cantlay, man, we talked about how perfect this course is for X. Don't they play all the same courses well?
Yeah, typically.
I'll look at a dual forecast. 1-2, 1-2 either direction.
Too good to be true. One of them would get too bricked up and finish fourth.
Yeah, true.
Well, that give you a little sweat at least.
I would definitely take
second. He was second second to JT at Medina, the BMW.
The guy just doesn't miss at the BMW.
Remember that BMW at Medina? Oh.
Do you get a car for winning this fucking thing? Is he like the Beamers?
Do you?
I don't know if you do.
Yeah, I don't
know.
know.
BMW in Medina was sick. Yeah, JT just went fucking nuclear.
I was on the beach.
You were on a boat. I was texting you updates. I was like, dude, he's fucking birdie another hole. He just like on Saturday went on a complete rampage.
Oh man, I missed that JT.
Good thing to add here about what you guys are saying about Cantlay. The driving accuracy. Last 16 rounds he's played, his last 4 events were a little more spread out because he hasn't played as much, but he's driving it straight again.
Yeah, good. JT shot 61 that day, man. Those days that's 11 under. Those days are far gone. That's what I used to love about JT. Those Saturday 62s.
Oh yeah.
You knew where they were coming.
Yeah, you knew they were coming. Yep. All right, and you like Ludwig?
Yeah, he's the same. I have to hold true to my word. 2-week operation with the two of them, and I think I just misread it a little bit with him last week in terms of what I said about the course history being a little sticky, and there's might be a little something to Ludwig not liking Zoysia at all. I just went onto his data golf page, and his worst collegiate results at Texas Tech were also on Zoysia. So I think the ball's just sitting up like it's on a tee. He's the best in the world, but Scotty at hitting his number. He may do some stupid shit, but he's so unbelievable at hitting his number. And he just struggled to do that until the weekend.
Yeah, he sucked ass on Zoysia earlier this year at the PGA.
Yeah. And he was driving it better than the numbers will give him credit for this week. I don't know how many fucking times he was 1 foot into that rough. It's so damn narrow. He's not going to have that this week. And he's a mountain guy. That's, I don't know. We said Shriners. I'm with you. I don't think it's the greatest comparison. But then you look at last year, the week that got him onto the Ryder Cup team, the Omega Masters in Switzerland.
Yeah.
I think that is something.
I just don't think he's playing good as well as he was. That's just
I agree with those points. I think he could be a mountain guy too, and I agree with Blake. I think he's just on the descent. I think he peaked and now he's going down towards the other way.
And I think that's fair. And especially, I have him at 18-1. Like, I understand that people be like, hey man, I want fucking 28 right now with this guy.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Ricky. Just saying that, I didn't know that until we were saying this today. It didn't come to mind, rather. Joey Skovron on his bag. I mean, Ricky has all those results in this region with the altitude.
Yeah, could help him.
Ludwig's bag. So there's some familiarity in the mountain time zone here.
All right, here we go. Next range.
Okay. In the 20s, that brings us, we have Tommy Fleetwood, and then another guy who's a couple guys steamed down to 30-1. Wyndham Clark, Tony Finau.
Tommy's hit it great last week, but
guy's bizarre.
Just not. Yeah. What's his deal with the putter, man?
He led the field in ball striking. He can't, but he can just never put it all together.
Yeah. So yeah, that's wild.
Best ball striking week in 6 years. He's just, I don't know. I mean, like you mentioned this, Blake, and this is I was never thinking about really betting him, but this kind of just ends it. Is Tommy's first win really going to be in Colorado?
There's no fucking way. His first U.S. win is not going to be in Colorado. This is not going to happen. So we're going to pass on that one.
Simple.
I do like the next two guys, Wyndham and Tony. I feel like they make a ton of sense.
These two guys are the obvious course fits, elevation guys. Very comfortable playing elevation. Wyndham, obviously from the area. Tony from Utah, which is the third most elevation of any U.S. state. So I think these are the two obvious course fits. I went with Tony at 30-1. I thought, both fade the ball, Nicholas guys. I love Tony this week. I think he's due to win something. He hasn't won anything yet this year, but he's really played some pretty good golf of late. He's third in approach his last 24 rounds behind only Scotty and X. He, again, obviously the elevation is great, but I like the fact that it's going to be a bird fest for him. A lot of his wins have come in that 20 to 24 under range. He feasts on par fives. He's a par 5 scorer. He's going to get 4 opportunities every day this week. And he's finished in the top 12 in 5 of his last 7 starts. He's been around. Okay, so I just think he's the guy. Birdie or better percentage. He's 6th in the field his last 24 rounds. Has won a playoff event before. I just think it's a perfect spot for. It's a perfect spot for Tony. Can he actually get over the line and do it? I don't know.
Fair number. That was one of the fair numbers, right?
I was hoping for 40, but relative to the way everyone else was different than what I expected, it was in line.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if he can win either, but everything he's saying makes a shit ton of sense. He does fit like the Leishman mold of BMW winners, right? Leishman, Keegan, similar type players.
I'd say he's a little better than Keegan.
Doesn't this go hand in hand with like the Northern Trust? It's like good players should rise to the top, and he hits it long, so at the fits, he's there.
Yeah, and I mean one of the bigger things is it's bent grass greens.
Mm-hmm.
That's him.
It is, and he played okay last week, but I thought about him last week just because how good he was playing. But you meant Blake. You kind of talked about him a little bit too. Just he doesn't win, and he's not a Bermuda guy.
No, bent is his thing.
I also wonder if these legal issues are getting to him.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
He hasn't won since.
We're going to see some protesters up here?
I don't think so, because there wasn't that many of them, probably 15 of them, and they're all in Utah. And the whole issue is they think he's screwed his local community. So I don't think they're going to travel to Colorado. I mean, how long is that drive?
Well, you can make a trip of it.
Just to protest against Tony?
Load up the van.
Dude,
I don't think
protesters are wild people. They could hire some professional protesters. You never know.
Like they did at Live Boston.
Yeah. They do that with my company all the time.
But the thing is too, that was his tournament. They were, so I think that it made more of a statement.
Okay.
People in Colorado are going to give a fuck?
No, but it's just the closest they're going to get to a tournament in their area.
Yeah. Well, you think he's going to play in the fall at Black Desert?
He better play there.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
He has to play there, right?
So they're probably waiting for that. It's only a month away.
Yeah. Okay. That's true. Crazy. It's only a month away. Yeah.
So you thinking about Tony? We got a 30.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Tony. Yep. Definitely thinking about him.
Wanted, isn't it?
Yeah. He's on my short list. I just got to figure out what I'm doing with Rory.
Yeah.
And even Colin.
Yeah. So, and then same reasons, Devon, you liked Clark.
Yeah. What made the decision for me was just the number. I'm with Tony. I have a lot more faith that he can get 4th. If I had to put one in the ringer just to go spike putt and get to 22 under, that's where Wyndham wins. And he is playing better. I mean,
he is.
Fuck Wyndham Clark, but that's 4 top 15s in his last 5 events. He drove it super straight last week. And even if he doesn't drive it super straight this week, there's not anybody better at hitting out of thick rough on the PGA Tour. Bryson's better at it, but that's one thing. Wyndham fucking lashes at that ball, and he's good at it. So if it turns into a contest where it's like, hey, Wyndham, we got to hit 8 irons all day against fucking Xander, he's screwed. But I think if he just goes out there and lashes driver and has a little familiarity, I think it's the same reason. I think just Tony or Wyndham, you got to take one this week just by the
Tony?
experience. No, I did not. But I just think
Wyndham.
everybody listening should take at least one of them. Pick which one you like more. And maybe I know a lot of people are on both, but I just think that experience of knowing like predictable outcomes, it's going to be unpredictable for a lot of people, not these guys.
What's your take on Wyndham, Matt?
I like
them, but
I get it. It's now gotten steam to the point. Like I would like taking a flyer on a guy like him who I know he's playing better at 50 or 60.
yeah,
Down to this 35, man, I got no interest. I hate Wyndham Clark. I think Finau's a better player. But, I also believe in win regression. And that's the reason why I didn't think Tom would win for a while. And I just think Wyndham maxed out. He got as many wins as he possibly could for what he was doing. And I think winning is hard on the PGA Tour. And I think we're going to see. Same for Harman. He won it, man. He won two. He should not have won an Open, and he did. You got to pay for that for a little while afterwards. And I think Wyndham is still paying. He might play well, but I think he still has a little bit more to pay.
And he got lucky with his win this year that it didn't go fucking 4 rounds because he had Scheffler, Ludwig, and JT on his ass.
Yeah. He gained fucking 9 putting to shoot 61 on Saturday or some shit, and they just gave him the trophy. It's like this motherfucker was lucky to make the cut.
That was bullshit.
He has 2 fake wins. Fake U.S. Open win and a fake fucking Pebble Beach win.
That was so crazy to me about his 54-hole quote at the Masters. It's like, dude, you dumb fuck. You're the only one to have a 54-hole win since COVID.
Yeah.
PGA Tour.
But then he shocked me though at the Players. I was shocked he was around there. So
yeah, and
he was hot as hell.
Yeah, he was.
That brings me to my one red flag I do have with him this week. I'm on him at 40-1, but these results, a lot of these, like we know, we talked about how he saw an unsustainable uptick in his iron play. These results, Travelers, short course, Scottish, wide open, and he did all of his work on the greens. Olympics, basically the Travelers. And then St. Jude, I mean, he drove it super straight, but these are, he's not hitting his irons. So I do think he's going to need
short. Heritage finished 3rd, short.
Mm-hmm. So short course guy who just spikes and putting, I think is kind of that. But hell, if he's pumping it and this thing plays at 7,200, then he's fine.
I think he just still has some tax to pay for everything he got.
Yep. All right, next guys.
Down the line in the 40s, we have Sam Burns, Corey Connors, Aaron Rye, Billy Horschel, Sung J M.
Put you on to Billy this morning, Matt.
You did. I liked Billy. I've been liking him for the last 3 weeks. I think he found something at the Open. He's been playing fucking fantastic golf. And Blake, you mentioned him to me this morning. I completely agreed with what you said. I forgot about the Cherry Hill win in 2014. And his stats are just fucking phenomenal right now.
Yeah.
And he won Memorial 2022. Nicklaus guy.
He finished T8 at Valhalla this year.
I was going to say, he spiked there.
So likes Nicklaus, has been good in elevation, hitting it fucking phenomenally right now. We know he has balls.
Oh, I would not be like if it's Billy, Xander, and fucking I don't know Morikawa. I feel like Billy has a shot to win. I mean, he has ball. He won the fucking match play.
He won the match play. He won the Tour Championship.
Memorial.
Won at Wentworth. He likes big events.
He does.
And
man,
Matt, I would add when you talk
class 3. That's really good.
How do you guys feel about him on an 8,000-yard course with that driver? These numbers are better than I would have thought, but he can't keep up with these guys distance-wise either.
No, but I do think we talk about separators. I do think he's a player that can separate with long irons. And I think
that's fair. I mean, that's
Memorial, Wentworth, 2 courses that require you to hit that mid to long iron pretty well.
Valhalla. I mean, fuck,
Yeah.
it was long and soft.
And Troon too.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Troon was hell on earth. Yeah.
I mean, he can hit a 4-iron, 5-iron with anybody.
I mean, Houston Open, wasn't that a long irons?
Yeah.
He almost
For
won
him,
that,
yeah.
remember?
That's what I mean. I think his separator is you want him on a course where you can use those long irons. I mean, looking back at his history, I think a lot of it's been on longer courses.
Let's see his win. Memorial. Second at Mexico.
What,
I mean, Wentworth
what
is
was
not a
his
wedge
little?
fest.
No,
Oh, yeah, he won Wentworth, right?
That's an iron player paradise.
Byron Nelson, he won. I don't know where that was then, though. Yeah, he doesn't have a
match play is a mental grind. I mean, that proves he's just a fucking winner, but that's not Iron Guy.
Yep.
But I think that's still a great point in terms of what you guys are just saying. He can sack up and beat somebody perceived to be better than him.
All right, so what number did you bet?
45.
Okay, that's good.
And
would you bet lower than 40?
Not if I had to bet all of it, but if I had to get half at 45 and half at 35, I would do it.
Yeah.
But with Billy, you would think of him as a Bermuda putter. This season, he's been much better putting on bent. He's second in his last 24 in strokes gained putting on bent grass.
Wow.
And some of those wins, I mean, Wentworth isn't Bermuda. Memorial's not Bermuda. So I think he's just a good putter in general.
Yep.
He is a damn good putter. Like, just looks confident.
He putt like Dick last week.
Says he gained 1.1.
Did he?
Yeah.
For him, I don't think that's even good.
No, he's a good putter overall.
Yeah,
but
he gained 8 at Valhalla.
So, I think the Nicholas Greens maybe likes to putt on those too. If you looked at that, I bet it would add up. But the stats from last week, why don't I have those right now?
Well, the rest of the board gained across the board, everything.
Yeah.
3 on approach.
3 in approach, and how many off the tee?
Only a half stroke off the tee.
Okay. Yeah, he's hitting it great, man. I like the bet.
He's gained across the board the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
He's a guy I like fucking going to battle with.
Yeah. There's win equity there. He's not afraid of the big guns. All right, we're out on Burns, right? That was just
what a dickhead.
Yeah, dude, he's fucked.
Obviously Henley, Connors, nothing, right?
Nope.
All right, next range. Just get into the 45-50 range.
All right, we've got a couple of our favorite losers. JT, Cam Young. Then we have Adam Scott, Sahith Theegala, and my good friend Bob Mack.
All right, JT, he has flashes. He can't put 72 holes together, so no. Cameron Young, fuck no. Adam Scott, yes, if he was 85-1, but he's not. Why is he 45-1?
Yeah, it makes no sense. He's playing good.
He is playing good. I wouldn't be surprised to see him up there, but you can't do that, right?
Feinberg said this to me last week,
No.
and I thought it was a great point. He goes, I understand the bet at 60-70-1 because there will be a point in time when he's 16-1.
Yeah.
But he's not going to win.
Right. So, yeah, just no.
So I agree. There will be a point in time this week where he's 16-1 live.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's just not going to win.
No.
Okay. We glossed over Sungjae. No, I got no interest. I was there last week. I think he's starting to hit it bad.
I think so too.
And then Theegala.
Theegala, I ended up betting because I thought 45, 50, 55. He was 55 on FanDuel. It was a really fair number, considering with how he's played this season. He's been a top 10 player on the PGA Tour this season, maybe top 7 player on the PGA Tour this season, right?
I think he's in the top 10 of the FedEx Cup, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's a Nicklaus guy, and he's a elevation guy so far. Obviously grew up, California. he's definitely played plenty in elevation. I think he ranked up there in the top 5, top 10 for me in elevation. I don't know why, but he did. And then Nicholas, man, he finished his best major performance was at Valhalla, and he was good at Memorial. So and you know what? He's been driving the ball well. He's gained strokes off the tee in 15 of his last 16 events, and lately his accuracy has been good. That's his problem.
You worried about his approach?
The approach has not been good at all. But Nicholas, let's look at that. Memorial, his best approach week of the year was at Memorial. Okay, and then the PGA Championship was his second best of the year.
He was in the last group, right? I know he finished 12th, but he was actually contending.
So I think he's a Nicholas guy. I know he's a Nicholas guy. And I know he's a Birdie Fest guy.
Definitely a Birdie Fest guy.
And I think he puts it really well in bed.
How much altitude is in Phoenix? Or Scottsdale, whatever. How much is there? Much?
I'll tell you right now. There's the Google
He
machine.
loves that place.
There's a bit at
I'll
Napa,
probably bet Sahith there every year.
Only 1,100.
That's okay. Not small.
No, it's not 6,000.
No, that's nothing though. That's not much different than what I play in every day.
And Fortinet, Napa, I imagine is a little bit of elevation.
Napa, let me check.
No, none.
Okay. Shows how much I know. I'm not a geography guy. But I just think we played at Pepperdine. I looked it up earlier. There's like 1,200 there too. But Nicholas guy, I really think Nicholas guy is going to be huge this week.
I think the Nicholas is bigger than the altitude.
It is.
I think that's fair.
And he gets to get a hot putter. But isn't this the place where the hot putters have gotten hot putters? Not the place, the tournament.
Yeah, for sure.
Cantlay gains 12 here.
He's capable of getting hot with that thing.
And he hasn't had a spike one. He's a spike guy. He's not good every week, but when he is good, he spikes.
Yep.
Let's see.
He's on my short list.
Where's he spiked this year? Valhalla.
The
gained
Players.
6.
Scottish, sorta.
Waste gained 4.
Fortinet.
Yeah, so I just think Birdie Fest, spike putter guy, a little variable there. Maybe put a little chaser in play. What if he's not dueling with Scotty next? What if he's dueling with Billy and Morikawa or something? I think he can beat them.
You don't think he can beat X?
I don't know.
Okay. I like it. He's on my short list. I'm definitely considering him for sure.
Devon said it was a waste of money betting Sahith, and I should have bought Luca a swing set instead.
Well, you don't know the cost of swing sets these days. Even I don't know if Matt's putting a swing set on Tagala at those odds.
Yeah, I probably.
I don't know how much swing sets cost.
Well,
a couple grand,
$3,000 at least.
Are they really? Holy shit!
Yeah,
I got one anyway, but I mean, I don't agree with that. I think he is a good chance. Not a good chance, but I think relative to the odds, he has a chance.
I just wonder if that guy ever actually does he take that shit serious enough to win on a Sunday against anybody?
Well, look at, he was another player who was pretty decorated in college. I think that shows a little bit of grind.
No,
but yeah,
absolutely.
I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. I want he's such a good dude. It's just I don't know. I get some scaries.
50-1 in this field is 80-1.
Yeah,
that is
a good number.
And plus,
he's on my short
like
list,
you just said about Scott, you're getting the floor with his Nicholas history.
Yes.
And I think I need to see these stats. So that's actually a great point what you said about the approach weeks in which he has. And I think it'd be worth noting the driving accuracy that you hinted at. The two of the 3 most accurate off the tee have been those Nicholas weeks too. So just that left to right.
So you really like this card, huh?
I love it.
Really?
I love it. Gives you a little bit of everything.
Okay.
All
right,
Blake,
next
are you
range.
still
What you
looking
got?
at Bobby Mack?
No, I'm never betting him this week.
Okay. You texted me this morning asking.
I told you I thought you were going to bet him because I thought he was good odds. I wouldn't hold it against you this week to bet him. I definitely
No,
could see
I
him
don't.
more than
I'm not there
Memphis.
with it this week. But now in the next range, do you want to just hit guys that you like, or do you want me to read off these 60s and 70s?
I don't like anybody except Dunlap after Tagala. So
He is
Yeah, I don't
70 to 1 across the line.
So we talked about most of the stuff earlier. I got a 90 when it came out on FanDuel.
did you?
Did you too?
I haven't bet it yet.
Got a 90. And I thought that was really, really good. I mean, he just played last week, and he was paired with Scotty Scheffler on Saturday. He beat him by 3.
Wow.
That's actually fucking crazy.
So we talked at the beginning what we think his pedigree is, and if we do think he's at 80 to 1, 90 to 1, 70 to 1, in this field is like 130 to 1, and he's playing fucking great. He pumps the shit out of it. He loves Birdie Fest. He makes a million birdies. He's going to have 170 into every par 5.
He won in the mountains a month ago.
And he won in the mountains on a Nicklaus course.
Yes.
At the Barracuda.
T12 at Memorial.
Wow. Didn't even know that.
Yeah, I thought he was first round leader, but he wasn't. I just went to go look it up. But I remembered him playing great there. And I was like, oh, he's good at golf. Like, he got a lot of shit early in the year. Because people were like, oh, he's not ready. It's like, no, you dumb fuck. He's supposed to be in college class right now.
Yeah, I gave him a ton of shit, but that was more because he fucking beat Burns when I was on Burns.
Yeah. Okay.
So he won on a Nicklaus in the mountains, and he won his USAM at Cherry Hill.
Boom. Likes the mountains. Mountain guy. Knows what he's doing. Do I really see him winning? No, I don't at all. But
you guys
no?
just
You think he can win?
I do. I think he can win because if he's on that trajectory, say he does win, now everyone looks back and says, well, he did do this. He was this player. As an amateur, he did win these 2 events. Like, it'll line up after he wins.
It will.
It will, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
I didn't know Barracuda was a Nicklaus till you guys said it an hour ago.
Yeah, Reno Tahoe.
Hey, we're the Cuda guys.
Yeah. Like, I think that's the worst event in golf, but I love that you guys own it.
Colin, Akshay.
Yep.
That's so funny.
Does Akshay have other Nicklaus? Was he in the mix? Or was his best major the PGA?
Akshay. I don't know. He win his junior AM at
22nd Memorial.
Valhalla?
Yeah, he did. He won at Valhalla. That's right.
Yeah.
He was unbelievable in approach at Valhalla. Just couldn't make shit.
So I think there could be a little Reno Tahoe connection with Nicklaus, because there's some courses that are a little bit outliers.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is one of them. I think that's a true Nicklaus. And then let's see, Reno Tahoe. I want to look at somebody else what they did at that. If they played in that event, was it any other Nick? I don't know. Cantley never played it. Did Finau ever play that event?
I don't know. It doesn't come up on Fantasy National, so.
Nope, he has not.
I would be so curious as to why Akshay likes Nicklaus so much. I mean, he obviously hits fades as a lefty, which is just inverse of the. Isn't that not backwards?
Yeah, it is.
Just talented.
Like, obviously, he's got great history. It's just interesting to me.
But I mean, Colin obviously winning Memorial and Tahoe. I think there's a lot to it. So Dunlap, not only is he playing great, not only does he have the pedigree, but he has the connections that we're looking for.
Yep.
And that price is fucking absurd. That is like, in this kind of field where 15 guys can win at most, not even.
Yeah. So I love the card. I love it.
So that's it. You're on.
What?
I'm on.
Cantley 22, Finau 30, Billy and Tagala 45 apiece, and Dunlap 90.
Okay, I'm sniffing around on all those guys. Haven't ruled out Rory or Colin yet. Most likely will be on Pat. I think that's the most definite one that I'll be on. Even if I bet Rory and Colin, it would just be a 2-man card. So, and I'm sniffing around all those other guys you mentioned.
Is there a possibility that you just throw out the same card?
Yeah, definitely. I probably would throw out the same card if I ignore those two.
We need a team winner on Pat because that's the only one we share.
Yeah, I'll be there with Pat.
I'm on Ludwig 18, Pat 25, Wyndham 40.
Boom.
Okay, I'll throw out there too. I'm betting. I might do a quick little live about the U.S. Women's Open. I'm sorry, British Women's Open.
You got into it this week.
I didn't mind watching the Olympic, and I liked St. Andrews.
I got you there.
You did, and I think the St. Andrews is going to be a good one to watch.
Yeah,
and the numbers are fantastic. So I bet Charlie Hull 33-1.
The numbers are amazing. Why are they so good?
Maybe because no one bets them. I don't know, but just it's very inviting. The favorite is Nelly at 4 teams. Oh yeah, Blake owes his Crusher shirts. He's won two of the last 3 weeks. And the last thing is, I do think we'll do that group bet. I don't know if Blake will, but I definitely will go X over Scotty. I like that a lot this week.
Now, what are we getting?
I'm with you on that.
Plus 120?
Probably.
Yeah.
Do you want me to check right now?
Yeah, we'll tweet it out.
All right, we're good.
Let's go. Last real event till September, I guess. Next week's a shit show. Are we having a show next week?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, we always do. It's true.
You know, I'm looking forward to the swings because we get fucking full fields.
Yeah, swing
cuts.
I'm looking forward to the DP World
swing. We gotta do better at the swing this year than we did last year.
We had Tagala.
We had Tagala, but we missed a few. So,
are you guys gonna get down in that